All right. I guess we're live. Let's do this. So here, let me show you guys what. Let's start off with what I did yesterday. Here's the final rendition of yesterday's C4D project, just kind of manipulating objects and creating a landscape. And so I finished this project up after the live streams yesterday. I just continued on with it because I'm having so much fun here and still learning about like putting floors in and using different lighting. So I will continue on with that. I'm going to do a different project today, but I don't think it matters because I think like every project you're going to wind up putting a floor in and like a sky element. So when we get there, we'll get there, and hopefully today will be a little bit faster because I'm only going to be creating one object. That's going to be a donut, and I'm going to get into going from parametric mode to polygonal mode. So we're going to be making some, I guess if you want to call them destructive changes or destructive edits today, but it'll be all good. So we're going to try to make a sort of, I don't know, animated cartoony version of a donut, I guess. And if I have time, we'll put some different lights on, and we'll add a floor in, and we'll try to put an environment together for the donut to kind of live. So here we go. So in C4D here, I have my blank workspace, and I am going to get designing a donut. Go in here and find a torus. If I wanted to, I could like manipulate this donut a little bit more by playing with ring radiuses. I don't know, a donut might have like a smaller hole here. How about my pipe radius? What do you think? Decent donut? Yeah, sure. Whatever. If I want, I can like add some more ring segments. Whatever. I think that's a pretty decent looking donut body. Okay. Now let's go and duplicate this. So if I press Control and click on this torus and drag down, I make a duplicate, and I am going to bring that over. So I have a duplicate object here. So this is going to be my, I guess, like donut body, and I'm going to make some icing now with this one. So let's see. I am going to get a better angle here, and I am going to make it editable. So now this became a polygonal object, not a parametric object. Cool. Now what? Now I'm going to switch camera views. I'm going to get the front view of it. So I'm looking at the front of my object here. I am going to take my rectangle selection tool. And by default, I think I was talking about this yesterday, by default, when I place an object, it gets placed at, what's it called? I always want to say ground zero, but it's not ground zero. Something. Ground zero, I'll call it. But essentially, these axes, the anchor point in this donut is in the center of the donut, and so it places at 0x, 0y, 0z, which means that it's already cut in half on the axis. It's sitting below the work plane, and so I can take this square selection tool and just go along that x-axis and select all of the points below the x-axis and hit delete. If I go back into my camera view, and I'll show you this, I have half a donut. But if you look at the underside, you see that that donut is hollow on the inside. It's not a solid object. So this is going to become my icing. Here we go. Now I'm going to go back to this and do live selection tool. And I'm going to start selecting some points in here and deleting them. And just for like time's sake, I'm not going to get crazy with this. I'm just going to go and just select whatever here. Oop, I'm looking at the other donut now. Hey, zoom out. I'm a little close there. It's okay. Cool. Looks good to me. Now I'm going to do the same thing with the inside. Oops. Oop. Let's see how this looks. Whatever. I might need to like go a little higher, but it's okay. This is my first attempt at this. Okay, so I have got this rough looking icing to go on top of my donut, and now it is time to smooth it out. So smoothing it out is as simple as subdivision surface and putting this torus inside my subdivision surface, and you'll see that it quickly renders out. I can go in and I can mess with these points too, but you'll notice that it's pretty flat looking. So I'm going to need to extrude it a little bit. And so I got to figure out how to do that. What's this? Okay, if I right click on this, no, not going to work. I think I have to go to these faces here, Control A, now right click and go to extrude. And hopefully, once I start to drag right or left, it will extrude. Now obviously I don't need it to extrude so much. So that offset is what's changing. Alright, so let's go to like a 1/2 centimeter and see what happens. So I've got like a thin layer of icing, or do we want a thick layer of icing? Let's go there. That looks pretty decent. Okay, now let's go to, let's go back to the subdivision, let's go to move, and let's move this guy over and put it on top of our donut now. Now I'm going to press F4 to get my front view again to see, like I learned yesterday that perspective on this thing is really wacky. Like it's really good that they give you all these other camera angles. Let's see, I would assume that I still have half a donut, and so it would sit, if I try to get it to sit as close to this X and Y axis, it should be pretty centered. So now if I go back to F1 and look around, yeah, look, I still need to move it over a little bit. So I'm a little off on that side. Let's see, I might move it up a little bit. It's not sitting perfectly. Let's see if I can scale it a little bit. If I hold shift. So holding shift will scale this whole thing. That looks okay. Let's zoom in and let's get a look around this thing. I mean, it's a little... see. This is what I don't want, is spaces. So if I move a space over there... Yeah, okay. Let's say that's good enough. That looks kind of cool in the middle, actually. I don't like this part at all, but... Alright, let's render this out and see what we're looking like so far. Not bad, right? Okay. Kind of cool. Let's add some materials on here. See if I can make it look like icing. And make the donut look like a donut. I already started messing with the material before. So I'm going to put this material onto this donut here. And I'm going to start hold on. Let's grab everything here. And let's move all of it up. Oh, because my gradient is still white on this side. So I was looking here before. If I double click on this one and I click on the hexa code, whatever you want to call that, copy that. Okay, bring it over to the white. Actually, I don't know if I want white in the middle or not. Add another point over here. Put that hex code in there. I don't know if I'm going to want white. Do I want it lighter? Probably lighter, right? That looks maybe semi-decent. Let's see what happens. I also changed this to, it's automatically set to 2DU, which is up. I want 2DV, which is vertical, I think. Let's see what happens. Oh, the white is like on the inside, not really on the outside. So if I click on this, let's see. I wonder if I can mess with these parameters. What did I just do? I want it on both sides. Let's see if I change it to like spherical. I think that kind of worked. It's cool. It's just really light now, right? So let me go back to my material and edit some colors on this gradient. Let's see if I make this a little darker. And I'm going to grab this hex code again. Hit OK. Do the same thing. Paste the hex code there. I don't see it really changing much. There you go. Looking for like that. Maybe I'll bring it up to this like center line. Starting to look a little bit like a donut, I think. Okay, I'll take that. Quick render out. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it almost looks like a Krispy Kreme. This looks a little funky here, but again, like I'm not going to be too picky for my first donut, you know. Starting to look decent. Looks okay. Let's work on another material now. So I'm going to double click, create another material. And this material is going to go onto the icing. Now the question is, what kind of icing should I make? I think I want it on the subdivision. Yeah. Well, my daughter loves strawberry icing. So why don't we go with strawberry? Drew, what's up, man? Sorry, I just saw that that you jumped in on this. I'm making a donut. You don't need to apologize for being late either. You're my rock. You're the one that shows up pretty consistently. So, oh wait, I'm doing the wrong thing here. Control Z. Okay, I want to go back to color, but I want to do, how did I just do that gradient before? In texture, go to gradient. Click on the gradient. Again, we want to make it a vertical gradient, I think. And I might need to like reverse it or something, I don't know. Now let's make this thing, give it some chocolatiness. Whoa, I could do all different like interpolations, that's cool. HSV. Let's go into like the orangey area, down in here, over here. Let's look for like, oh wait, I'm not doing chocolate. Ada, I almost made a chocolate donut. That's silly, right? Honey, I need that arm. Thank you. I'm going pink. Pink and red. Okay, well we're gonna do a strawberry frosted, so we're gonna hit OK. That's cool. Let me grab that hex code again. Or, I don't know, does there, I don't know if it needs to have a gradient or not. Honey, I'm trying to work here. I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily need a gradient or not, but I'm going to lighten this up a tad bit. We have like a tiny, tiny bit of gradient going on here. Didn't I just put it on top of that subdivision? Aha. Cool. I'm going to render it out. Let's see what it looks like. I'd say that looks pretty close to a strawberry donut. As close as we're going to get for now. You know? For like a quick, whatever, couple minute render. Oops. Do we attempt some sprinkles? Sprinkles is the tricky part. Yeah, exactly. You don't like sprinkles? Or you do? Alright, we're gonna put sprinkles on it. Yeah, we're making a donut, Truth. Sorry, I'm just seeing all your comments there. Well, why don't I show you, before we get to sprinkles, why don't I show you how to put like this thing into an environment, because right now, if we render it out, it's going to be black. It's just kind of like a floating donut thing, right? So let's give it an environment by putting a floor in. So go here to floor. So now I have a floor in here, and I don't know, I think I need to give this floor a material also. Let's go to, I'm gonna turn color off. I think I have to go to like luminance or something maybe. And go to, let's turn it on. Hey, now it's just gonna be like a bright white surface. Bump, normal, displacement possibly, I don't know. Okay, texture, I'm gonna go with layer now. I'm gonna add this layer and put a shader, go to surfaces. What kind of surface do we want? Just put it in stars or something, put it on the pavement, earth, fire, flame. Just put it in the galaxy. Put it on a tile floor. That would be like marble, right? I wonder how I would do that, actually. How do you make a tile floor? Yeah, just put it, let's try Galaxy. Dude, that's crazy. Well, that would be funny. Look, I mean, already it's tiling. I don't know how it's doing that. Screen. Let's leave it at normal. For some reason, it's tiling. And I don't know if that's something here that I can mess with. Let's go back into this layer and interesting. I don't know how it's going to apply it across the whole thing. I mean, Galaxy is cool, but it's only cool if, like, you could have it really... Well, let's try stars. No. Right, yeah, I know. I think it'd be cool if we just made this whole thing like a big, like, it'd just be awesome for a donut in outer space. Um, how do I should be, let's see. I'll just hit remove and I'll start over. Go into my layer. Oh, I can add an image. That's interesting. Surfaces. I'll just put them in a star field. This is just like transparency, right? Can I edit the star field? It just seems like a lot of stars. I would like to I'd like to be able to edit the star field more. Okay, I might take that off. Let's see. I might need to add, let's see, let's delete this guy. I might still need to add a material onto here. All right, let's go. Create standard material. Let's double click on it and we'll just change the color to like blue or something. Let's just put this on the floor. Now, at least when I render it, that's cool. The donut's kind of just like hanging out here. I bet you, I mean, it could be cool if we do like, let's go back to this material. Let's see, can I give it a texture? What's Fresnel? That's interesting. Fresnel overrode the color. Go to this hex, let's copy it. Let's go to this one, let's paste it. Let's add one here, maybe, and do like a whitish. Again, I'm gonna bring these points in a little bit. Let's see what this does. Okay. That's a little bit neater. Okay. Escape. Oh, I'm already in. Now I'm going to put a camera in here. This camera is going to become my new camera. If I turn it on, I can't really see any difference. Let's go to basic object. I'm going to do 85. Cool. And now I'm going to turn the view off, so I'm back to my default camera view. If I zoom out, I'll see where this camera is. It's got its focal point. So I'm going to move this camera maybe a little bit. Maybe, where'd it go? Okay, let's look at it again. Ought to be, let's see, F2, F3, F4. That's the top view. I want it to be back, like, let's say. Let's go back F1. There you go, that's a little better. Where'd that camera go? Here? Maybe I'm gonna rotate it a little bit. Kind of want it to be up there and down here. Will this zoom you out? That looks a little better. Why wasn't I turn it on? I don't like that at all. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to get a good camera angle on this just by moving it, and we'll see what happens. Is that a cool camera angle? Maybe? Alright, I'm going to go into my render settings also, and I am going to do, change my output. I'm going to try to make this like an Instagram picture, so that's 1800 by 1800 square. Cool. Now I'm looking at this square here, and I think I need to zoom in a little bit, move you over, and maybe rotate you a little bit. What do you think? Control R, let's render it out, and we'll see. That's not what I wanted. I want to render this in picture viewer. So this is going to be my Instagram picture. Alright, not bad so far. I really love how that looks like. It's like the icing is really dripping. Okay, I like the camera angle. I like everything there. So I can, let's see, do I right click on this? If I go right click, and there's a way to render tags, and I think inside display, nope. There's a way to lock this inside render tags. There's a way to lock this camera. I thought it was in render tags. I'm not going to get too crazy with this. I'll have to look it up. I know there's a way to lock that camera view so I don't mess with it. Because I really like that camera view and I don't want to mess it up. So I'm going to add some lights. But I think I'm going to wait until 12 o'clock rolls around to add the lighting. But here's what we got so far. If I, again, render out to picture viewer. It's rendering out because I switched cameras to default camera. Now it's rendering out to the default camera. I think it'd be cool if we can make this thing like tiled like you were talking about, Drew. Like a kind of like blue, maybe not even, some sort of like bluish table or something. Donut orbiting Earth. Dude, that sounds awesome. Yeah, I haven't gotten into animation yet, but yeah, that sounds cool. We'll make donuts orbiting Earth. Eventually, I would love to almost make like a conveyor belt or something. Or even just having donuts drop one on top of each other could be cool. Yeah, you can absolutely research stuff for me for C4D. Let's think of fun stuff to make. This morning, my daughter was playing with Play-Doh, and I was like, "This is totally everything here." Like maybe just because my brain is thinking in C4D now, but I'm just like I'm sitting there playing with Play-Doh, and I'm like, "Oh man, like what could I could use Play-Doh as like little models to think of things like that I can make in C4D." But I'm like sitting there thinking like C4D is like a grown-up version or a virtual version of Play-Doh, where we could just make anything we want. All right, so when I come back, I'm going to add some lighting on here. I'll show you some really cool lighting effects. And after that, we will, I don't know, maybe we'll mess around with this floor a little bit more to see if we can give it like, really? That's awesome. What does your aunt do? Some sort of like architect or something? Yeah, C4D is like such a versatile program. It's so cool. Yeah, I was going to say an architect or something. There you go. Yeah, C4D is amazing. It's just such an awesome program where you can make, I mean, stuff for video games. You could, if you're an architect, you could use it to design your buildings. You could do interior design. You can do so much stuff with C4D. I think it's like just an awesome program for people to use. All right, so maybe we'll add some sprinkles when we get back. I'll show you some different lighting techniques, and we'll see if we can, you know, there's also ways to like texturize the donuts and stuff to make it look, you know, not so cartoony, make it a little bit more realistic. But you know, it depends on the look that you're going for. I kind of, you know, I'm not going to get too crazy with my first one, but we'll add some things on here and make it look cool so we could put a picture out on Instagram. So I will be back in a little while, and we will be getting back to this donut. All right, I'll see you a little while later.